Hey, how's it going? Today I'm just gonna I'm just gonna talk about my day basically. Nothing too heavy because there's a lot of that, and I really wanted to get out from under the heavy. So I've been sort of making a concerted effort not to get too attached to all of the sort of negative things that are happening in the world all the time, especially the one that's highly in focus right now overseas. It just gets to be exhausting, to be honest. But I decided that I wanted to change the energy that was going through me. That felt like, if you know Jack Kirby art from DC Comics, there is a certain sort of energy that he draws, and it's like it'll be a color, but it'll have like black blotches in it, and that always, like, even before I knew about any of this woo woo stuff or energy or anything like that, it was just like, you knew that was not good. You knew that, like, if that was going through you, it was like huffing a nuclear reactor pipe. It's no good. So kind of felt like a lot of that was going through other stuff too, like that's not depressing, sad, out making you outraged or any of those fun things. There's just also like good stuff happening, happy stuff, funny stuff, fun stuff, positive stuff. It's kind of like you got to go looking for it though, just because of the way the world comes flying at you. So anyway, I both kind of deliberately was like, I gotta like really back off from this because I was having like physical symptoms already from it, like just sudden bouts of nausea and headaches that would come and go pretty quickly, but they'd be super intense, and I'd be like, it's unusual. So yeah. Anyway, then other things would happen that made me aware that I was having help staying away from this stuff. I'm not gonna detail that. That's, you can maybe find me talking more about that on my WordPress. But I just here today wanted to talk about how I was kind of just open to fending off all of the negative stuff and just letting the happy good stuff come in. So the other night, my cable was out. It had been out for a couple of days. I have the Comcast or Xfinity, and it wasn't, I didn't see anybody talking about it on any of the Comcast sites on Twitter, and I didn't call to say anything or go online because both of those are the road to madness. So I was just like, I'm just going to ignore it. I have plenty of other things to do. And as it turns out, I can watch TV on my computer. I can watch my laptop. I mean, I can watch YouTube. I can do a lot of things that don't involve the television. The television just has certain functions that make many of those watchings a lot easier because of the remote system thing. Like YouTube has its own deal, and it's not it's not the same format, but whatever. It's just better than watching it on something this size as opposed to 56 inches. And I don't know, I guess I'm spoiled, but anyway, it was out and I decided to not go the routes that would make me lose my flipping mind, and just kind of went on about my business. And so another reason the television is kind of important is because generally at night I use as little electric light as possible. uh, and so I'll have either candles going or the salt lamp or all of those, because really once it's dark those are not like this kind of light. And so the television helps a lot with light. But so it was down, and the plaid channel It was okay for light, and it was actually interesting. Like there was some stuff that looked like uh, I want to say language, but I mean yes, language, but like the written, like it looked like characters, like 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 English language characters, but it wasn't English. I don't even know if it was characters or whatever, but I just kind of looked at it. It was interesting, and the colors were kind of interesting. But what I'm saying is, there was an overall pretty darn dim effect in the room, and I don't think there was any light behind me because when I transfer from this room, I will be turning off the lights and making my way to the room where I mostly am, which is the living room and TV room, and there will be no light behind me. So it was dark, is what I'm saying, and I let my kitten in, which I have to go through that room, which was dark, as I was saying, and open the sliding door to the patio and let him come in. And that's kind of a process. And by the time I got like reseated in my chair and turned around and was sort of ready to head back this way, because here is where the cats get fed and here was where he really wanted to go. He like overstayed outside, so he was really hungry, and I knew that. But this was what was so crazy. When I turned around, okay, so here's the situation in the living room. Like, there's the monitor for the TV on my right, and then underneath that is my CD player, or yeah, or DVD player. Yeah, DVD player. Sorry, I haven't used it in so long I don't remember what it's for, except as a piece of furniture. And then under that is a stereo speaker that's tipped on its side, uh, and that's sitting on top of a coffee table. Is it coffee? Yeah, coffee table. And on either side of it is stuff stacked, and in front of it is like a bunch of CDs I had pulled out to listen to because my CD player is to the right of the TV monitor. I know this is so interesting, but that was what was on the right of me. Okay, so the cat had already come in. He was past me, so he would have been in front of me. Except in the dark, he's really hard to see because he's a gray tabby, and also I don't see very well out of one of my eyes, so it's kind of really easy in the dark to lose track of him. I could hear him sort of running around, but it was really fast. It was like blip 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 blip, and that was because he doesn't stay on the floor. For some reason, in the living room, the floor is lava, and he walks all over the furniture and the CDs that I was talking about. So I'm headed towards the kitchen in the dark. I have no idea where he is. I just know he's racing around. And all of a sudden, he comes sailing over my shoulder like this because, like all the cats, they got to get right in front of me. Well, all of them. The other one. They both do it, though. They'll get in front of me when I'm heading to wherever I'm going. They just like to get in front of me. It's kind of annoying. But anyway, he comes sailing over my shoulder like this is how he went by, and it was so funny because his little head was here, and then his little round body, and then his feet and tail were like all one little column sticking out the back end of him like a bird. So funny looking. And I was like, wait, he just launched off the CDs because I didn't hear anything fall down. I was like, what is he flying off of? On the left side of me is kind of an open space, but like probably 4 feet away, 5 feet away is the wall, and there's like another table there, and there's also like a recliner and a love seat. But somehow he like launched back the other way, and I'm just not sure what he came flying off of. So I'm just going, and he's like a little electron just flying. Sorry, flying in front of my face, and it was so hard. Like the reason why he kept doing it was because I was just practically paralyzed with laughter and literally could not move myself forward. I was tucked in the ball laughing, which I guess got him like more excited. He was like, feed me now, pew, 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 pew. So that kept me going. Like it still obviously gets me. That kept me going for a few days though. And then today, and by the way, I'm basically living the dream. I have nothing to complain about. I have basically everything I want and need, and life is good. So nothing happened in between the flying cat incident and today, is what I'm saying. Like, I have basically been in an up mood. So my caregiver and I go to the store, which in this case was Walmart, and we did our shopping, and it was pleasant. Like, nobody, it was crowded, but everything went like really easily. People were nice. Like, I keep expecting something terrible to happen at Walmart, and a sort of Karenish incident did happen, but really it was like this lady sort of over good Samaritaning, and just it was just a misunderstanding. But she ended up yelling at me and calling me all kinds of names, and like for me it wasn't like that, and she just misunderstood. And then she okay, the water just came out of my sink to say what like I said she misunderstood, the water was all blue. To me that's a confirmation. So anyway, we my caregiver and I walked away from that spot on this other occasion with the Karenish thing, and she was turned out she was on the other side of the aisle from us, and making her way down the other side, and then she was like cutting in another direction at the other end of the aisle that we were on. And I happened to catch her going by and saw where she was coming from, and it's like she, I think, heard me saying that, I'm sorry that she misunderstood, because she tried to do something and I resisted, and she ended up she was trying to help me put a package somewhere, and I didn't want to put it where she wanted to put it, and she didn't let me say what I wanted to do. Never asked, and I kept the first thing I said to her out of my mouth was no, thank you. But people see you in a wheelchair and they're just like, I have to help this feeble person, and it's a little toxic. And I didn't want to let go of the package, so she's grabbing the package and trying to put it in the cart, and I wanted to put it under for a reason that she didn't know about, because she didn't let me talk and she didn't ask. And I said that to my caregiver, and that was when I saw this woman come around the end of the aisle just behind me. Like, I turned around to see her. She had been behind me, or she would have been. So I saw her anyway, and she, I think, heard the last bit of what I was saying, and looked away and looked down. And that was when I knew, like, oh, well, good, I'm glad she got it, because I appreciate help, but I also appreciate if you accept when I say no, thank you. So anyway, that was like the worst thing that has happened in Walmart. And understand, this is total small town America. It could be anywhere. Very, very white area. There's not very many other black people in this town that I live in, and I don't even really run into any problems with that, except for one occasion that I'm not gonna retell. But it was kind of uncomfortable because it like happened with someone that worked at the hospital when I was a patient in the hospital, and it was just like not particularly adding to the healing experience. But I really, other than that, I have had like no racial anything problems. Like, just I haven't, which I'm happy about. Like, yay! So okay, I'm in the Walmart with my caregiver, and we've done our shopping. Like I said, it was very pleasant. Everybody was like polite and helpful and nice, and it was a two-way street with that. And I always love that because yay, it's nice. It's just a better experience. And we're leaving, right? And the optical section is like right by the exit. If you have ever been to a Walmart, they're all kind of set up the same way. And as I'm just getting to the end of it and about to pass the ice machine that sits on the corner where you make the right turn into the exit to the parking lot, and I see this poster for Elton John Eyewear, and I just lost it because, okay, let me just explain how bad I lost it. I was laughing so hard, I couldn't talk, couldn't breathe, couldn't move. All I could do was sit there and like wheeze and giggle like Muttley, and I just turned into a noodle. Enough so that the greeter came over, and my caregiver was like, you gotta move if you're gonna fall apart. You're in the way. There's people waiting behind you." And then the Walmart greeter came up behind me. She was like, Do you need help? Can I push you over to the exit? She's like, can you get out of the way? But I think she was really concerned. Like, this woman is having a psychotic break. I was just laughing so hard. Like, it's gonna get me for weeks. But I saw the Elton John eyewear, and I thought of Elton John with that sort of tight hooded sparkle suit that he would sometimes wear in the 70s, and those big rhinestone glasses with like little curly cues or feathers coming off them, and like the whole feather thing behind, and just the big glamboyant flamboyancy of 70s era Elton John. And then pictured them on these Walmart people. I hope you're with me on this, because not that I'm the paragon of good shape, but I mean, you've seen those pictures on YouTube of like Walmart weirdness, and if you haven't, throw that in your search bar. I'm sure you will find some Walmart weirdness on your search engine or YouTube. It's there. It's real. Like, this is not fake news. It's real. And so I just kind of imagine those people with the Elton John outfit on. Like, who's gonna wear that on purpose? And I know that's not what it is. That's also why it was funny. So I just wanted to share that because, in light of all of the stuff out there that can make you feel really bad, it's also possible and beneficial and fun and good and healthy and all of those yippee doodle good things to be happy and be at ease. Like, you can appreciate the other stuff and doing the other things that I was just saying, like just being happy again or still, and just not forgetting that you can, despite all of the negativity in the world. I don't know, like, I have to remind myself all the time. So I just thought I'd share that with you, because if you can lighten up and laugh, then you can be at ease, and that kind of spreads, and people are going to do what they're going to do. But if you're not like all clenched and tightened up like a Gordy knot or something, tight and confining and all like that there, then like, whew, you can take a breath. And then like, if you mean, okay, I gotta stop because I keep trying to think about that, because I'm not trying not to think about it. That shit is funny. I wanted to share that with you, like, brew up your own madness, but you don't have to succumb to the drear. So be at ease. That's all I'm saying. It helps. It's good. You like it. Thank you and good night.